So without any further ado, let's welcome Mishka.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for that introduction and for inviting me to be here tonight. I am so excited to be here with you all tonight and to be speaking on this very important topic, which is bullying. So I'll tell you a little bit more about myself before I get started. As Kelly mentioned, I'm an associate marriage and family therapist, and I work a lot with teens, with young adults, with parents, with families. I see that I have a lot of young people today, but I also see some parents in the background, and I'm really, really excited that you were able to come. So I'm very passionate about my work, and I'm very passionate about talking about this topic because it's so important. In our world today, we face so many challenges every single day, right? So today I'm going to talk to you, number one, about what bullying is, what are the different types of bullying that exist, what are some of the effects that bullying can have on us, not just on the person being bullied, but the person who bullies, right? And then I'm going to give you tools and resources and what you can do to prevent bullying and to make things better, to make a difference in your life and in the life of others. So I'll start with a story. I grew up in Guatemala. I didn't come to this country until later in my life. When I came to the United States, I had a very thick accent, which I still have an accent, although it's gotten better over the years. So when I first came, I experienced my own bullying. People would make fun of my accent. They would assume that I was Mexican, even though I'm not. I'm Latina, but that's not the same. But I would be called Mexican, or I would be asked, do you speak Mexican? Actually, I speak Spanish. Little things like that I experienced, but that made my experience a little bit more difficult. Also, when I was back in school, I think this was 6th grade, I wanted this pair of shoes. There was like pointy shoes. I mean, this was back in like the 90s. So I saw this pair of shoes and I said to my mom, Mom, I really want those shoes. Can you please buy them for me? And then she saw them at the store and she said, no, Mishka, those shoes are way too expensive. We cannot afford them. I'm sorry. So I whined, I cried, I begged. Finally, a few weeks went by. My mom came home and had gotten me the shoes. And I was so excited. And I was so excited to go to school the next day and wear my new shoes. So I go to school. I'm excited, I'm walking in, my new shoes. First thing that happens, kids start laughing at me. This one kid is pointing at me and saying, look at Mishka's shoes. They look like Peter Pan's shoes. And I was like, what is going on? These are awesome shoes. What are you talking about? But I got all upset. I started arguing. I started defending myself. And then it got to a point where I just got really sad and hurt and ran out and started crying. And then I went home and I said to my mom, I'm never wearing those shoes again. Why did you get them for me? And she goes, oh, you're gonna wear them. Because I bought them for you and you begged and you're gonna wear them. And I'm like, but they call me Peter Pan. I don't want this. I don't want to be called names and be made fun of. My mom goes, okay. So when they called you Peter Pan, what did you do? I got upset. I argued. I told them to shut up. I cried. Okay. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to help you at all. So tomorrow, you go back, you're gonna wear the shoes. And when they call you Peter Pan, and when they make fun of you, you're gonna say, thank you so much. Peter Pan is my favorite. And you're going to just move on, and not give them any more attention. And you'll see, they'll stop. And that's exactly what I did. I listened to my mom, at least that time I did. And guess what? It worked. It worked. They stopped making fun of me. Because I wasn't giving them attention. Because I wasn't reacting. I wasn't getting all upset and bothered. I said, okay, thank you. I love that. That's awesome. And they stopped bothering me. So the point of this story, right, is that when someone is teasing you, when someone is bothering you, when someone is bullying you, if you give them the attention, if you react, you give them power over you. So we'll talk a little bit today about how you can stop doing that, how you can start speaking up for yourself a little bit more, or speaking up and helping your peers who are being targeted, and how you can become more resilient. Resilience is the ability to overcome difficulties. Resilience is the ability to use those experiences, those challenges, and turn them into something positive, turn them into strength. So I'm going to be talking to you about that today. I also experienced bullying in other ways. By people spreading rumors about me, making up lies, trying to ruin my reputation, making fun of my ethnicity. Now that wasn't that funny. That was more painful. And what it did to me is I became anxious and depressed. I became angry, so angry. I wanted to retaliate. I didn't know how to ask for help. When I was a teenager, I was really angry and moody. I don't know about you, but I was a moody teenager. And I didn't know how to say, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to help me. And I wish I knew, because I could have used some help back then. And it's okay to ask for help when things get tough. So let's define bullying. Bullying is basically a type of abuse that either one person or a group of people use to hurt others. Most of the time, they're trying to assert their power over others, be stronger, have control over them. Usually, the people who are targeted are the people who can't defend themselves or don't know how. Don't know how to defend themselves and don't know how to speak up. Also, students who are commonly targeted are students with disabilities or mental illness or a learning disability as well. And also, those who identify as LGBTQ. So those are the groups that are mostly targeted. However, anyone can become a target. And the flip side is that also, anyone could also act like a bully. We can all play both roles. And I assure you that there have been times where maybe you've been targeted, or maybe you have targeted others. Maybe not intentionally, but you did. Because we all do. Because we're human. And why do we bully? Why are we angry, lashing out at other people, hurting other people? Well, one thing that's important to understand is that anger comes from pain, comes from being hurt and suffering. So when someone is bullied, that tells me that they're hurting inside. When someone's really, really angry, that tells me that they're hurting inside. It could be because things are not going well at home, or they are experiencing depression. Maybe they themselves have been bullied, so now they're doing it to retaliate or to protect themselves. Or maybe they've experienced some kind of trauma. When we are hurting ourselves inside, we hurt those around us. We don't always intend to, but it happens. And that's why it's so important to acknowledge what we're feeling and to heal. And to seek help when we need it so that we can heal. There are different types of bullying. There are different ways that we bully others. Verbally, emotionally, right? Calling names, making fun of someone. Physically, we're hurting someone, pushing them, kicking them, shoving them. Also socially, we can hurt someone by isolating them, excluding them, by spreading rumors, ruining their reputation. And another very, very common way of bullying is cyberbullying. Right? We live in the digital age. Everybody has a smartphone, right? Or a tablet, or a computer. And there's so many platforms where this could happen. Right? It happens over social media, on Instagram, or Facebook, or Twitter. It can happen over text, email. Also, there's apps you could use, like Snapchat, or Kik, or WhatsApp. And there's also online gaming, which is another big part of where cyberbullying occurs. And this also, girls and boys do gaming, but the majority of people who do gaming is boys. So that's where boys maybe tend to bully or be bullied a lot of the time. So some of the effects of these types of bullying. Let's say, for example, cyberbullying. Someone posted a picture of someone online and made fun of them, or said maybe like really mean things. And then everybody gets that. Everybody sees that. Everybody starts liking, commenting. Everybody starts participating. It makes it worse. Some of the effects that that's going to have on the person is maybe they're going to experience a lot of anxiety, fear. They're not going to want to go to school. They're going to feel lonely, isolated. That could lead to depression. I've heard in my career, in working as a therapist, of someone posting a message on social media saying, you should kill yourself. And how do you think that that's going to affect someone? Suicide is actually the third leading cause of death in young people. And people who are bullied are 2 to 9 times more likely to either have suicidal thoughts or commit suicide. So this is a serious effect, right? In how we do have power, in the words that we use, in the things that we do, and how they could hurt other people. So that is a serious effect. Doesn't mean that it is the only reason someone's being bullied, that that's the only reason they might think of suicide. But they might also already be vulnerable. They might also be depressed. They might also have trouble at home and not feel like they have people to talk to. Right? So we want to really think about the consequences of our actions. Other effects and how it can affect the person who is bullying. It could affect your future because there could be a record of it, especially if you post something online. It could stay there forever and follow you through adulthood. When you apply for a job or college, that might show up. Or the person that you posted about, that might also follow them through adulthood. And for the person who is bullying, they might also experience, they might be at risk for other things, like using drugs or alcohol, or being incarcerated, by having a criminal record, dropping out of school. It is also very important for us to separate the person from the behavior and not label people as bully. That's a bully, he's a bully. Or victim. We don't want to label. We want to be careful about doing that. Because when we label, we're saying, well, that's who they are. And that means they're not going to change. They can't change. But if instead we change the language a little bit and we say, the person who bullies, or the person who's being bullied. And that leaves it open for change, right? Because we all have it in us to change and overcome difficulties. Remember, the person who is bullying is also suffering. They're not always a monster, right? They're not. They're also a person, a human being, who needs help and support. So what are some things you can do in order to deal with bullying, teasing, deal with things that happen at school, or maybe outside of school as well? Safe ways that you can deal with bullying. Right, so it depends. It depends if it's something like teasing, calling names, making fun, or if it's something more serious, like posting a picture of someone that's inappropriate, right? Then there's legal issues there, and that can be reported to authorities. But you can deal with a lot of this on your own. There are times where, if it gets out of your hands, if you don't know what to do and how to handle it, it's very important, and it's okay to ask for help from an adult. Tell an adult, whether that's a teacher, a counselor, and your parents. Your parents want to know what's going on in your life. It's okay to tell them what's happening so that they can help you if you need that help. But there are things you can do too. So one example, as I told you, what I did. I kind of went along with the kid who was making fun of me, and I used humor. And I took the high road. That's something you could do. You can also stay away from some of those people. Or if they want to start something, you always have the choice to walk away. Always. And if someone is trying to stop you, you need to speak up about that. There's 3 roles that we play when it comes to bullying. We could be the one who's bullying, or we could be the one being bullied, or we could also be bystanders. So the bystanders are the ones who witness it, right? You might not actually be the one doing it, but you see it, you hear it. But you're a bystander if you're just standing around quietly and you're not doing anything, or you're not saying anything to anyone. So what can we do to change that? If you are a bystander, work on becoming an upstander. What does that mean? Being an upstander is someone who, when they witness bullying, instead of remaining quiet, they will speak up and tell someone. They won't laugh, because when we laugh, if someone's bullying and we laugh, we're reinforcing that behavior. So we don't laugh. And we might actually question the bully's behavior, the one who's bullying. Hey man, why are you acting like that? You know what, that's not cool. And then maybe you walk towards the person who is being bullied, and maybe you ask them, hey, you okay, can I help you? Or can I walk with you to class? Walk with them down the hall. And maybe later you check in with them. You send them a text message. Or you talk to them and say, are you okay? And you know what? I don't agree with what's going on. It's not okay. And I can support you. And you could do that. You could do that and start standing up to it, and you're gonna help prevent it. Research shows that when bystanders become upstanders, bullying stops in 10 seconds, 57% of the time. I'll say that one more time. When bystanders become upstanders, bullying stops within 10 seconds, 57% of the time. That means that if you start standing up and speaking up, you can help stop it. And more than half of the kids who are being bullied will be spared. There's a lot of power in that. We have a lot of power to make change in our lives and in the lives of other people. If you are someone who is being targeted, there's also power in numbers, right? And maybe staying close or walking and being with people who you trust or who can help you and protect you. Try to avoid, if you walk down that hall and every time you walk down that hall, there's these kids who try to mock you, stop you, and they just keep bugging you. Next time, try to walk with someone down that hall instead. There's power in numbers, where you don't have to face this alone. And there's also things that parents, teachers, school counselors can do. So for parents, it is so important that you are involved as much as possible in your teen's life. I work with parents a lot in my practice, and I work with teens. And when I work with teens who are experiencing bullying, I work very closely with the parents. I try to get them as involved as possible because parents, you can give so much support and encouragement. You can also intervene by going to the school and talking to them about it. Because the school needs to be proactive. They need to protect you. That's their job. It's their job to intervene, stop it, stop those behaviors, give consequences when they're needed. Right? That's their job. So parents, when I work in therapy with my clients, I always tell the parents, okay, have you gone to the school? Have you spoken to the teachers or the counselor? And a lot of the times I hear, no. And this is for many reasons. Sometimes they don't know fully what's going on, or their teen has not told them, or you know what, parents are very busy these days too, and very stressed and have a lot on their plate, so it's not easy. But this makes a huge difference in preventing and stopping bullying. So teachers and school staff can also play a big role when they notice things, to intervene, to investigate, to talk to the teens, to talk to you guys. and let you know, hey, like you can talk to me, or you can trust me, I will help you. And I know that it's hard. I hear this all the time. I don't want to tell, because if I tell, then I'm a snitch. And nobody wants to be a snitch, right? I hear this all the time. I don't want to be a tattletale. Yeah, no, I get it. But there's a difference. There's a difference between telling and tattletaling. When you tell because someone might be getting hurt and needs help. And when you're tattling, then you are telling because you want to get someone in trouble. And maybe you're just doing it because you don't like that person. And so there's a big difference. But sometimes it's very important that you do tell. I'll tell you when it's essential that you tell. If someone is getting seriously hurt, if someone is talking about suicide, that is not something you ever want to keep a secret. Your friend might say, please don't tell anyone, I trust you, please don't tell anyone. And you might feel like, well, I can't break that trust. I told him I wouldn't say anything. But this is dangerous. And you don't want to have to carry that responsibility and that burden. So you must always tell in that case. Don't ever keep that a secret. Because by telling, you could be actually saving someone's life. So another important point that I want to make is the best way to also manage and handle these bullying behaviors is by building that resilience. So that strength that I was talking about, thinking about, okay, is this worth my time? Is it worth my energy, my tears, my sweat? Do I really need to be reacting to what these people are telling me? Or maybe instead, I could use my intelligence, I could use my own strength to move past this, not engage in this. If you are the type that maybe you really want to get back at other people, then you're going to become maybe just like them, or you're going to get in big trouble. You know, someone else started it, but then you retaliated, and then you did some of the same things they did, and then now you're the one in trouble with the behavioral contract. Right? You don't want that to happen. So being resilient is the ability to be able to say, I don't need that. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for those people. Okay, you want to bother me? You want to tease me? Bye. I'm not paying attention to you. You're not worth my time or my energy. Other ways that you can become stronger and more resilient is by taking care of yourself. Self-care. You want to be able to make sure that you are okay. So how can you take care of yourself? Some essential things. Getting enough sleep, getting enough to eat. Maybe you want to spend some time in prayer. Maybe you really could connect more with God in your faith. Because that prayer and that faith makes you stronger, makes you more resilient. And then it's going to make it easier for you to handle those difficult people. Another way to do it is to practice gratitude. Because a lot of times we think of all the negative things that happen to us, of all the difficult things that we go through. But we forget about the blessings. We forget about all the good things maybe that we have, or that have happened to us within our day. Thanksgiving is coming, so this is the perfect time for you to be able to think about what are you grateful for. And I really want you to think about that. Just try to take a moment right now and think about what are you grateful for? What is going well in your life? What is good? Really think about it. Because practicing gratitude, just for a few moments every day, it will increase your happiness. It will make you stronger and more resilient. And it'll help you feel, if you're anxious, if you've been feeling kind of down, it'll help you feel less anxious, less depressed. Another way to become more resilient is to connect more with others, reach out to people, or help someone else. When we focus on someone other than ourselves, it really, really makes a huge difference in our mood, in our attitude. Why? Because we're sharing with someone. We are connecting with another soul. Right? And that is one of the biggest blessings we can have, is to connect with another human being, to connect with their soul and share love with them. And then another thing is, okay, so maybe certain bad things are happening to me, but I can try to put it into perspective. Right? Try to put it into perspective, and also choose your battles. What are the things that you absolutely need to do something about, something that needs to change, versus what are some things that you could simply let go of? There's also resources available for you. So I'll mention a few websites. Stopbullying.gov. That is an amazing website that has a lot of information and resources, where if you need help, you can find a lot of resources on there. Also, teensagainstbullying.org. Again, a lot of resources and good information there. And if you have questions, you can either chat with someone on there, you can ask them, you know what, like, I'm dealing with this, what can I do? Or if you yourself or someone else you know is thinking or talking about suicide, there is a suicide prevention hotline that is available 24/7. So anyone can call, anytime, doesn't matter. There's also one that's part of the Trevor Project. Have you guys heard of the Trevor Project? So it's especially for youth, and especially also for youth who are in the LGBTQ community. So there's also a hotline through them. If you go on their website, it's a Trevor Project Lifeline. And it's also available 24/7, where you could actually talk to someone if you're having any thoughts of harming yourself, or maybe harming someone else. To help the person who bullies. Gordon Myers is an author, and he wrote a book that is called Built to Bully. And in his book, he talks about how people who bully are actually very dominant and natural-born leaders. So one way to help kids who bully is to actually put them in leadership roles, to help redirect some of that behavior. Then there's also a website, builttobully.com. Again, great resources. And this is something that parents and teachers can also use. Or if you are someone who's been bullied, you can check it out too. I want you to be very, very honest with yourselves tonight in what role you might be playing. Are you a bystander? Are you being bullied? And maybe you're also bullying others. Or one or the other. Either way, you can get help. And either way, you could make changes. Because again, this is not something that defines you, and it doesn't have to define you. You could reach out. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I'm hurting, I need help. I need to talk to someone. Or this is happening to me. Someone's been posting online about me. Someone's been sending me nasty messages. It's okay to speak up. And it's important that you do speak up. So I want you guys to do an activity. In your journals, I want you to write 3 things that you might be having a difficult time with, that you might be struggling with. So just take a few moments and write those things down. So when you're done with that, I want you to write down 3 strengths you have. 3 things about yourself that are awesome, that you're so good at. So now I want you to think, those strengths are things that you could use to your advantage, to help make a difference for yourself. Things that make you stronger and resilient. Things that can help you deal with those difficult things you wrote down. And when you better manage those difficulties, you'll better manage those emotions. You'll better manage your relationships with others. And you might be able to also put this to use to make a difference for other people, right? To help others. Speak up, defend, be an upstander. So these are important things for you to keep in mind. Every day, remind yourself of your strengths, of your qualities, that you are important, that you are loved. And no matter what happens, you're always going to be loved, and you are not alone. I know that a lot of times many of you might feel alone. But you're not. There's so many other people who are experiencing similar things. I know I did. Right? Remember how I was telling you how I was really depressed for a while? I was depressed to the point that I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to go to school or talk to anyone. The thought of dying even crossed my mind. But I was able to overcome it. I was able to talk to people. I spoke to my family. I spoke to my friends. And then someone said to me, maybe you should see a therapist. And at first I was like, I don't know. Because I hear that therapy is for crazy people. I hear that therapy is for people who have really, really tough issues, serious stuff. It's not me. That was so wrong, right? Because that is a huge misconception. Talking to a therapist is talking to someone who is on your side, who is there to support you, guide you, not judge you. Someone who can help you build coping skills, build and empower you. And that is exactly what happened to me. And that is exactly what helped me heal. And it's part of the reason why I decided to become a therapist. That healing process, how powerful it is. And that is exactly what I aim to do, is to empower, to help heal, to walk and accompany you in that healing process, in that healing journey. And also give you tools and resources and teach you coping skills. So if you need help, know that there are professionals out there that can help you. Therapists, coaches, maybe you can talk to your youth minister, your pastor, talk to your parents, talk to your friends. You don't need to go through this alone. And I'll end with this. As damaging as bullying can be, there is hope. There is hope, and things can be better, and things can change. And if we all work together, then we'll make a huge difference, and we make our world a better place. Thank you.